Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Canadian Gamers. Steven and I haven't done one of these in what feels like an eternity now. And say hello.
Hello guys, it's me.
Wasn't that amazing? That was amazing. So we only have a couple of topics because, to be really honest, for both of us, life has been kind of really busy as of late. So if we talked about gaming news, it would either be extraordinarily old or it would be basically a big lie.
Yeah, that's right. We'd just be making up news stories left and right.
Exactly.
Did you know that the Xbox 4 has been announced for
Exactly.
July release?
It comes out tomorrow.
Comes out tomorrow.
Okay, so let's start off actually with the life update, or sort of like the channel update, and because I want to make sure that everybody who wants to answer has the opportunity to, and doesn't have to listen to us ramble for 5 hours. So I wanted to pose a question to everybody who's listening. I always take a look at seeing what works and what doesn't work for the channel and trying to make you guys happy. And I was wondering, since Tim wanted to really help out with his Hearthstone and his WoW pet battles, I wanted to know, do you guys want to see that on our main channel, or would you prefer that to be like an offshoot channel? Because there's nothing preventing us from doing that. Having we can create another channel where we can post all those videos if that's something that you guys would be interested in, because I know some of you, well, not some, I know a lot of you guys came here for retro content, and I don't want to flood your, I don't know what you would call that, but your update stream or whatever.
I guess.
Yeah, with stuff that you're not interested in seeing. Now, this is no knock against Tim or anything like that. It's just we want to cater, to what you subscribe to, and I don't want to flood your update thingy there with stuff that you're not interested in. So leave a comment. I'd really appreciate it. If I don't get any comments, then it's kind of hard for us to gauge what we should do, because currently, with the content that I produce on a weekly basis, what is it? Let me just grab my schedule here. Okay, so Wednesday I typically do a retro game for any console. Typically it's been of Neo Geo, I think, is what's running right now, but that's going to be switching into Sega Genesis really soon. Thursday I've been doing the Dragon Quest videos, and we're on week 20... What are we? We just passed week 24. So, I mean, that's crazy. To think that that's been going on for 24 weeks has been pretty wild. And then on Saturday, I do the Saturn videos. Now, normally we were doing a podcast on Friday, but we haven't done one since, what is it? Let's see. Oh boy, it's been a while. I actually keep a schedule now. Yeah, the last one we did was February 27th. Holy crap.
And I believe that was you alone, that one.
Yeah, maybe. So the thing is, I don't want to bite off more than I can chew, and realistically, getting those 3 videos out a week is manageable. I can do that, and I can throw in a modern review, maybe, every one a month or something like that. That seems to be realistic. There's also, I do sometimes the Loot Crate unboxing. I don't even know if you guys like that or not. Again, leave a comment, let me know. And maybe I can do a couple of vlogs. See, that's what I would like to do. I'd like to fill in, maybe on like a Sunday or on a Monday or a Tuesday or something, I could do a vlog just talking about like what I used to do with the community questions, or just, what's been going on. It's challenging to do when I can't pay attention to the gaming news, because I like to take what's happening right now and then either relate it back to something else or whatever. So yeah, just please let us know. It would really, really, really be useful to know if you would prefer for us to separate the WoW and Hearthstone content, or if you're enjoying it and you want it to continue, well, then that's fine. But just let us know, because right now that does give us pretty much a full week, because we get the WoW pet battle thing on Monday, we have Hearthstone on Tuesday, the retro review on Wednesday, Thursday is Dragon Quest, Friday is an open day, and Saturday is the Saturn day, and then Sunday again is another open day. That is completely manageable. We can keep doing that for probably years. But like I say, if you don't really want those things showing up with the other content, let me know. And same with Dragon Quest. If you feel that would be better suited to something else, well, let me know. The only thing is, keep in mind, at that point in time, you would only be able to look forward to 2 videos a week, and maybe that's okay. But let us know. So do you have anything you want to add on that?
No, I just thought that freeing up a few days would give you opportunities to do vlogs, because you used to do those more often. Now you seem to never do those, and those are pretty cool to see you just chat about stuff, random stuff that pops up here and there, and like you said, but you do have Sunday and Friday. Friday is our podcast day, but we pretty much never do them anymore because we don't have time. So yeah, just let us know, and we'll see from there.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we're more than willing to move things around. So let's go. That's the channel update. Now life update. Well, I think I've mentioned this. I don't know if it's actually popped up yet in the Dragon Quest walkthroughs, but or Let's Play. But I've actually been mentioning this quite a lot in some of the recent videos. I'm actually teaching now at my job. There's a bunch of conferences going on, and it's new to me. So there's a lot of homework, as I call it, where I come home and I'm reading manuals and I'm practicing and things like that. So my time has literally been just non-existent. And for like last week, as well, depending on when you actually listen to this, I was actually down in New Orleans giving a presentation there. And it's killed game time. Like, game time is gone. And not just game time, any time. I haven't watched the Daredevil Netflix show. I really wanted to check that out. I haven't done anything. I've been a big loser right now. But I'm hoping things will calm down probably mid-summer, I want to say. But I really don't know if that's realistic. But if it does, then I'm hoping to, get more involved back into the latest gaming news, see what's going on. Because truly, I have no idea what the hell is happening right now in the industry. And it would be cool. I actually miss doing those vlogs and stuff. And I'm hoping I can get back into that.
Yeah, I'm hoping we can get back into doing regular podcasts. Those were pretty cool when we had a run when we did one every week for like a few months. That was pretty fun. For me, I've been pretty much working and doing stuff here, taking care of my kid and trying to manage our life here, because Elizabeth is about to get back to work soon. The kid is still not really sleeping his nights, so it's kind of a challenge to have time to do anything, really. So right now, basically, I've been playing a few games here and there, not near as close as I used to, but when I find the time, like right now, I find that I'm not interested anymore in like new releases and whatnot. I just like to play games from the catalog that I have already, the games that I haven't played yet, or games like Smash Brothers or Mario Kart that you can just pick up and play, and party games, and especially Pokemon. Pokemon is a series that I find that I still always seem to enjoy whenever I put it on, and there's always something in there for me to do. So that's something I like. I'm actually debating. I'm probably going to start doing a Nuzlocke of Omega Ruby, which is pretty cool. It's kind of like the Wonderlock that I did, but it's something I never really attempted, and it's a challenge that I really want to try to do. The only problem with that is that when you're not recording yourself doing it, that it's kind of like, I guess it would be easy to cheat. I'm not sure if I'll be able to not cheat at all. Well, we'll see. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing. I've been watching a lot of YouTube content from what I find amazing about the Pokemon community is that there are about, I'd say, a dozen fan-made games every year released that are simply amazing, and that's something that I've been watching a lot of Let's Plays of those, and I do wish I had a good computer and stuff so I could play those and maybe even record some content, maybe have a Let's Play going on here and there, that'd be amazing because I really like those fan-made games, and it's incredible what people can do with this stuff. Like they're basically creating brand new Pokemon games, and there's like a dozen of those released every year. Some with they're called Fikemon, which are basically fan-made Pokemon. So that's pretty interesting. I really like those content, and also something I want to talk about, and you can chime in after, is that we have something special coming up, which is an unboxing of you that you will do of some stuff I'm going to send your way. And the reason I'm doing that is that I think I have a lot of video game stuff here that's taking a lot of space, and that I really don't need because I'm never going to play this again. And I find that you talked about this in a vlog about Sega stuff. I never was a Sega kid. All my Sega stuff I bought years and years after those consoles were released, so I don't have that affiliation with that system. I don't have that sense of nostalgia. So when I see like a GameCube game lying around, I remember when I played it, I remember when I bought it, and I remember all those memories from it. So it's still, even if I never play it again, it's a lot harder for me to get rid of it because I have some affiliation with it. But with all my Sega stuff, besides a few Saturn game here and there, there's not really anything that feels close to me. I never grew up with them, and it's just that I thought that I wanted, why not get rid of it? And you said you were interested in them, so I'm going to basically send you a bunch of Sega Saturn, Genesis, Master System, and Dreamcast stuff for you to open up, and you're probably going to have 95% of these games already, but at least you won't have to go dig them up in your storage place, and that should be a pretty interesting video, and I at least will always have that video to watch if I want to rememorate my Sega memories.
Yeah, for those that, well, first, thanks for this. This is going to be really interesting, and I'll have to hook you up afterwards, but for those that don't know, that's just it. Like, I do have a lot of stuff here at the apartment, but I have way more that's literally buried away. It's just ridiculous. And so when Steven was saying that he was thinking of getting rid of, like a whole bunch of his Sega stuff, but that the realities of his current situation to sell the stuff would be not necessarily more difficult than it was worth, but it's just that it would prove to be a little bit challenging. We won't get into all of that, but I was sort of like, well, I mean, Saturn stuff, I have a near complete collection right in front of me. But I say near, it's not really near. There's like, I think there was like 220 games or something like that was released for the Saturn. But of those, how many are sports games? Probably like, 80, 90, something like that. So I'm getting there. From what I found, I've got, I think it's about 140 games here that are non-sports for the Saturn. So I'm very, very close for a complete North American collection, and I wanted to highlight that for Saturn Day. So like for the Saturn, I was like, well, I mean, if you only have a few things or whatever, sure, if you want to make space, that's fine. For Dreamcast as well. Dreamcast, I do not have a giant collection here. So already with Steven sent, if you remember, I think I did an unboxing a while ago, did I not?
Yeah, I sent you, I think, 4 games, basically early 2014, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so I did that, and I reviewed all of those. And so for that, like for Dreamcast stuff, the odds are that there will be stuff that I don't have here. So anything I don't have here, obviously, great. It gives us more content, more stuff for the channel, and it'll be fun. But the one that I was the most interested in of the whole lot was the Master System, because you guys don't know this, but Steven went a little bit crazy a few years back when it came to the Master System. He went like nuts. I forget what he bought, but he bought like a whole crap load of stuff. And my Master System stuff, I've got quite a bit, but I have no idea where most of the games are. I found the system, I found the light gun, I found, a very old school, like, arcade stick type thing. I think I used to use that for Afterburner, but whatever. but I don't know where the hell my games are. I found like 4 games. I'm like, what the hell? I know I have more than that. So that to me is interesting. And I thought, like when he was discussing this, I was just about to take off to New Orleans. And I was thinking, like on the plane, and I even did a video of it about, I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who either missed the console war or that were like strictly on one side of the fence. And so no matter who you are, what your situation is, I was thinking, well, this could actually be quite interesting because, if I tackle Genesis games, if I tackle Master System games, even Dreamcast or Saturn, whatever, but in particular Master System and Genesis games, I can sort of, I don't know, like talk about what it was like to be there at that point in time and sort of relate that into the review, because there's a lot of games, especially for the Master System. People don't even realize this, but games like Phantasy Star, if I'm not mistaken, I'd have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure it was released before anything in North America. It was like the first traditional console RPG that was released in North America, because if I'm not mistaken, it predates Dragon Warrior, here at least. And I'm gonna make my reviews in such a way that you guys get to sort of see what it was like, and sort of the unfortunate reality that Sega was in at the time, because nobody knew anything about the Master System. I only knew 2 people growing up who actually had one, and I was one of them. So it's crazy. But then when we get into the Genesis, you're really going to start to see, because I'm going to constantly tell, like in the review, I'm going to constantly say, remember that at this point in time, it was 1989 or it was 1990. The Super Nintendo was not a thing yet. Nobody had one because it was released in 1991. So at this point in time, you're comparing what you're seeing here with like maybe digitized voice acting, very, primitive, large sprites, really quality music. You're comparing that to the NES, and that's the thing. So I'm hoping that I can sort of show you guys what it was like. And if you're a Sega fan, obviously you'll enjoy. If you're a Nintendo fan, maybe I can open your eyes just a little bit to see why so many people were so impressed with the Genesis and Master System back in the day. And we'll see. But I'm really looking forward to this, because I purposely told Steven, do not tell me what's inside the box.
No, but just don't get your hopes up that much with Genesis stuff, because I really don't have many Genesis games. It's more
and that's okay.
Master System, Saturn, and Dreamcast stuff. That is, I have a bit more games of those, but for the Genesis, I don't have much.
And Genesis is okay, because Genesis is the one that right now I'm actually, I showed you. I found some games. I already tackled the 2 Vector Man games. I tackled Castlevania Bloodlines, and there's a few others that I've got here, and then I'm going to go and see if I can find some more. But if I can't find more, it's not so bad, because if I can get that package before the deadline, happens, where I basically run out of games, then I can switch gears to Master System, because Master System is one I really, really would like to tackle, because it's very rare, that system. For a lot of people, they just don't know anything about it. So and I'm pretty sure you have quite a few games on that would keep me busy for quite a while. And in the meantime, I can go ahead and try and find the remainder of my Genesis stuff.
Yeah, I have a lot of games for the Master System. Probably, I don't know the exact same number, but a lot of those games are pretty good too. From what I read at the time I decided to buy all of these, and for some reason, it's just like for these very old consoles, I don't know about you, but sometimes I know you personally that when you play a game, you can get sucked into it pretty easily. I have a hard time with retro games, especially NES and even Super NES caliber retro games, that if they either have to be like fantastic true gems, or they have to be games that I played when I was young and I have a nostalgic factor so that I can start playing and just have fun with them. If I have no nostalgic factor, or if they're not like masterpieces, odds are that they won't hold my attention for very long. And that seems to be what happened with the Master System, because I remember back in the day when I bought it, being very excited, doing videos on it, and I don't think I played any of those games for more than 5 minutes, which is sad because some of these games are pretty good, but I know you're going to be able to give them justice, and I'm pretty sure that some of these games you might actually never have played or don't actually have in your collection, so it's actually going to be beneficial for you, those ones.
Yeah, I'm not lying. Like that's the thing I'm the most excited about is the Master System stuff, because I do have a decent amount of games, but absolutely I don't have a crazy amount of games, because that is one of the systems that whatever I own from when I was a kid. I never bought more games. Like with the SNES, with the NES, I purchased a lot of stuff like DuckTales 2, stuff like that. I purchased those games after, when they were, maybe $40-$50 used, stuff like that. Way before the time of, now, where things are ridiculously expensive. But the Master System was one of those that I never really saw much about. I just never saw them around. It's sort of like the TurboGrafx. Like today, I'm missing a whole bunch of games I'd love to cover on the TurboGrafx 16 and the TurboGrafx CD, but you never saw those games in the wild. And when eBay was first out, I never thought to purchase any of those games, which I now kick myself because, my God, could retire probably.
Yeah, well, you could probably retire from some of the stuff I saw in your collection over the years.
Well, let's do it. I'll retire.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to add one other thing. I can't wait for that package. Excuse me. I keep bugging Steven to get off his ass and mail it away. But the danger is when you're dealing with this amount of stuff, the danger always is, you don't want it to arrive completely destroyed. So it's like that balancing act of not sending too much in one shot, making sure that it's tight but not too tight so that the cases crack. Because if you don't know this for Master System, the cases are very similar to the Genesis. So you got to be careful that it's not too tight, so when the post office, throws your stuff around, that it doesn't shatter. And you might actually want to put fragile on it. It might.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to ship it by the post office. I'm going to ship it with Pure, so it should get a much better service than post office,
yeah.
And it's going to be a lot quicker. It's going to be a bit more expensive, but it's going to be way more quicker, because now with Canada Post here, it's terrible. The system, especially for small towns like I am, they actually ship all our stuff to Toronto before they start shipping it. So it wouldn't be that bad for you because Montreal is not far from Toronto, but like I told you last time, I shipped something that was in a small village 45 minutes away from where I'm, and it took 3 weeks to get there because they shipped it to Toronto and then they shipped it back over here. So it's Canada Post is going really I don't know what's happening with that system. It's I think for me it should be a service that should be essential, and they shouldn't they should stop cutting all that stuff. But I don't know, it must be our government. They're going crazy.
Yeah, seriously, man. Well, whenever it does arrive, you can be sure that I will have an unboxing video, and that will be almost like a very heartfelt unboxing video, because it's going to be deep. It's going to be pretty wild. There's going to be a lot of memories there, and I can't, I'm excited to see certain games where I'll open them up and be like, oh my God, I don't have this.
Yeah, and even the systems, make sure to unbox the systems and show what they have, because some of these I have the boxes and everything. I know they won't be of use to you, so maybe you just ended up trading them in or selling them, but still it'll be cool to see.
It would be cool to see, and I guarantee you, for some of them, I do not have the boxes for some of these systems, so that would be very cool. Now, the last thing I wanted to just mention very, very, very quickly, I spent a little money last week. I haven't actually purchased video games in a long time now, actually. But there's one thing that I try and do I try and support the indie communities whenever possible when it comes to certain systems like the TurboGrafx. I like to, support them when I can. I like to support Genesis with new games when I can. And the big one, which I really, really, really like, is the Neo Geo. But the problem is you have to basically sell your firstborn child in order to afford anything on that system. So there was a conversion that someone did, and the someone is actually the guy who created the Universal BIOS or the Universe BIOS, whatever the hell it's called, for the Neo Geo. That's what allows you to switch between the arcade version, the home version. All you need is like one copy of the game, and you essentially have both versions of the game. It's really, really, it's an amazing chip that this guy made. And he decided that he was going to convert Crossed Swords 2, which was only released on the Neo Geo CD. He was going to convert that into an AES and an MVS cartridge. And he did. And so I was like, oh, wow, that's awesome. And the pre-order was put up yesterday, I think it was. No, not yesterday. A few days ago now, by the time you're hearing this. And so I decided, yep, I'm going to go ahead and pre-order that, and I did. The MVS version is, 280, I think? Yeah, 280, and the AES version is 300. I only bought the MVS version. But I know 280, people are like, you're out of your mind, you're crazy, and this, that, and everything else. But I actually had a blast with Crossed Swords, the first one. I think that review, review is up live. Yeah. And I really love supporting the indie community. Now, there is another new Neo Geo game coming this year, and this is not a conversion. This is a brand new game from the guys, what are they called, NG Dev Team. They're the guys that did Gunlord, and they've done a whole bunch of shmups. And it's actually a Metal Slug clone called Krautbuster. And I wish I had the money for it, but I don't right now. It's 400 euros. And yeah, exactly. I can't justify that. Even the 280 was kind of pushing it there, but I'm going to see what I can do, because I absolutely love the Neo scene. It's amazing. And for those that don't understand why it costs so much money, it's all about basically supply and demand. You have to realize that what these guys do, they're not recycling old games. That's the typical way people make Genesis games, right? It's same as, what did I get you there? I got you that Genesis game. What is that actually?
I was gonna say Vector Man, but no.
No, but not the actual title. What is it called?
A cart? No, a repro cart.
Yeah, that's a repro cart. That's it. So what NG Dev Team does, they do not do repro carts. They actually pour the plastic, they make the molds, they create brand new shells for their games. The silicon that they use for their actual, like for the chips, it's all brand new. None of that is recycled from other games. So yeah, it's going to cost. I mean, it is going to cost. You're not just paying for, that's the misconception people don't understand. You're not paying just for their time and effort. You're actually paying, a lot of that money is going towards the manufacturing of the actual cartridge itself. It's not like these old cartridge companies still exist, right? So whereas years ago it would cost like $5 to, or maybe $10 to produce an actual cartridge, today it's like, $80 or $90 to produce a cartridge, and maybe even more. So I understand why it costs a lot of money. It's just unfortunate that right now I cannot afford it, because I would love to. I would love to buy all 6 of their games on the Neo Geo, because it's awesome. It's like buying a brand new arcade game in 2015. And if you haven't seen what these guys have done, their stuff is not primitive at all. They truly push that hardware to its limit, and I find that absolutely incredible, that for a system that came out in 1990, that there are brand new games, real new games coming out, and we're in the year 2015. That blows my mind.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. It's kind of like the Master System in Brazil. I don't know when the last game was released, but for some reason it was huge down there. They kept releasing games in the 2000s, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yep. So we only have one other thing we wanted to touch base on today. I guess you're going to want me to go and talk about it, right?
You go ahead.
Damn you. Damn you. Well, I told you guys that I haven't been paying any attention to anything that's been going on in the gaming industry, which is absolutely correct. But there were actually two things that happened over the last week and a half, whatever, or 2 weeks or whatever. When I was in New Orleans, something neat happened. I got a notification from a friend of mine telling me, oh my God, the new Star Wars trailer's up. So I was like, okay, I dropped everything, and it's around 2 minutes, and by now I'm sure everyone listening to this has already seen it. So I thought it would be kind of neat, since we don't know anything that's going on in the gaming industry. Maybe we could just talk about our thoughts on that trailer and the one for Superman, or what is it, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, something like that?
Yeah.
And so, okay, I'll start with, okay, here's what we'll do. I'll say about Star Wars, then you can chime in with what you think, and then you can start with Batman, Superman, whatever, and I'll chime in after that. Fair?
Fair.
Good. All right, so for Star Wars, when I first saw that, the opening sequence is basically a shot that pans to the right, where you first see an X-Wing that's like, buried in the sand a bit. It looks obviously like it crashed down there. And then you see a Star Destroyer in the background, and it's like a speeder or something is going by. Just that, when I first saw that, and you have to keep in mind I have watched the trailer about 5,000 times now, but when I first saw that, I was like, wow. I don't know what it was, but that reminded me so much of the original trilogy, more so than anything in the prequels. It was just like the cinematography. I thought that was absolutely awesome. The fact that just that one pan shot, to give you an idea of the scale of just how massive these ships were, and bringing it home that, there was this giant battle and the Empire has fallen and all of this. And then to hear Mark Hamill come on and say the Force is strong in my family, I got goosebumps right away. And I was like, holy crap, man, like this is really happening. And you see the Vader helmet and it's all melted. And again, the first thing I think of is like, wow, like symbolism. In the original trilogy, there was symbolism all over the place. Like, they didn't explain what the Force was. It was just this thing, and that was it. There was no science behind it. And there was symbolic stuff everywhere. And I love the fact that just in this one trailer, that one thing where you see Vader's helmet, what it represents, it's not just a piece of plastic. If you watch it again, you'll see the eye has been totally melted out. It looks almost like a human skull, because the nose is missing, just like in a human skull. You'll see the where the air vents were on his mouth. It's the way they melted it. It looks like teeth. Like, I just thought they did an absolute awesome job with that. And then goes on to where you see, I'm assuming it's Luke, I don't know, putting his hand on R2. I thought that was really nice. And then you see his lightsabers being passed to, well, I guess it's a woman, I don't know, but in the context of the trailer, it says my sister has had the power there, so I'm assuming that's it. And then you see that little montage of just quick little action sequences. They all look great. Nothing looked crappy. And I like the fact that the main Sith, I don't know any of their names yet or whatever, he reminded me of was it Riven? Was it Riven?
Raven?
Yeah, from Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just, I don't know, just something to do with the way the face, like the mask, the way that was. I was like, oh, that I don't know, it just reminded me of that. And then, of course, the big reveal at the end where you just see Harrison Ford and he's like, Chewie, we're home. I was like, I I don't know, man. It connected with me. I felt like a kid. I had shivers all over the place there, goosebumps everywhere. I was just like, holy crap, that was freaking awesome. And I've watched it, like I said, like 1,000 times since then. And I am genuinely excited for December 18th, man. I am hyped.
I have a question. Now, when Luke is saying that you have it too, is he talking to like his his son or daughter, or is he talking to his niece or
We don't know.
because I assume that it's more plausible that Leia and Han had a kid, but I've never heard because you read books and all that, and the books
Yeah.
have continued the trilogy, so maybe you have a
Well,
better idea.
did you hear the news about all of that?
I did not.
This was announced a little while ago, but everything with the exception of the prequels, the original trilogy, and the Clone Wars animated series, everything else was retconned. They basically said no, like everything that came before no longer exists. They created a whole organization now that will ensure that all the stories from comic books to video games to everything is canon. So everything that is released, so like the new Star Wars Rebels animated show, the new comics that Marvel are putting out, all of that is real canon now because they have this organization that makes sure that everything fits together. So as of right now, nobody has a clue what is going to happen in that movie because the old expanded universe has been destroyed.
Okay.
But I'm going to say it's Han and Leia's kid. I'm pretty sure. Like that girl you see in the trailer, she to me she screams Leia / Padme from the other movies. So I'm positive that she's somehow going to be related to them. The only weird part is why the hell is she on? Well, they already said it's not Tatooine. It's a planet called Jakku. So why is she there if she's royalty? Like, I don't know. That's the only thing where I'm like, well, what the hell? Shouldn't she be in a palace somewhere?
Yeah, I have no clue, man. Like I saw, like the first reaction was like, "Wow, there's a Star Destroyer there. It's pretty awesome to see that." And as soon as I saw that, I heard the voice, I was like, "Is that Mark Hamill?" And you confirmed. So that was pretty cool trailer. Very small, didn't really too much. I'm still wondering though those new lightsabers. Like, what's the deal with those? They look pretty cool, but I don't know the utility of that. Like. Those sword kind of lightsabers, would it that burn you or something? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm actually thinking that all of this sort of stuff, like, well, it's only one the that we've seen it, and I'm really wondering if there even is a Sith or anything like that. I'm wondering if this is all just like a cult or something, and these people or person has just taken it upon themselves to actually make that. Because if you look carefully in the first trailer that was released, it doesn't even look like a lightsaber. Like, it's not one flowing like piece of energy. It's like cracking. It's all over the place. So I'm really wondering what the hell the story even is behind all of this.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm definitely gonna be going to watch that movie in December for sure. But yeah, lots of questions so far. And I guess we're gonna talk about that Batman trailer. Like, I've only seen both trailers once, and that was like 5 minutes before we started this podcast. So I don't remember much about the trailer. Obviously, the big quote is that when Batman says, "Do you bleed?" and then he says, "You will." And that's pretty epic. The only problem is like we have no clue why there's gonna be a confrontation between these two from the trailer. Anyway, it seems like I don't know actually what they're gonna make to force a fight between these two. Like in the comic books, when they do these situations, it makes for some pretty amazing comics when we see them fight each other. It's always some of the best stories I've seen. But in the movie universe, I'm afraid it might be silly why the reason they're gonna fight. It might be something that they could probably just talk over, unless they like implement some kind of mind control and stuff like that, which would be funny because they haven't really introduced any characters that can do so, and I guess they could do it very quickly, but I don't know. I think the real meat of this movie will be that the fight between Batman and Superman, and I hope it's a huge setup for it. But like I said before, I'm very afraid because they're gonna try to introduce a bunch of characters in that movie. But from the trailer, like I don't know what your thoughts are, but I like that quote, but I would have wished to see or have some hints of what the confrontation between those two, what the purpose of the confrontation will be.
Well, for me, I actually okay. I'm weird with this movie. I really enjoyed The Man of Steel, and I loved the Batman Begins trilogy there. But I don't know what it was. I saw the trailer and I was like, oh wow, that was epic. But part of me is like, I'm not sure. Like I don't know. I feel like I'm reserved for whatever reason. I like the fact that, like, in the beginning, it says he's a false god. You can see that Metropolis is being rebuilt, and you hear, like, voiceovers of all these people basically saying, you know, absolute power corrupts absolutely. And it's odd because, like, you see people worshiping him, and I'm like, whoa, that's deep, man. That's something that you get from Miracle Man that Alan Moore wrote. Like, that's hardcore. There's even a scene where you see people that are wearing like SWAT type uniforms, and they have the Superman crest on their arm, and them too, they're bowing down to him. So I'm wondering if it's like almost like a cult has like opened up, or like almost like a religion has opened up, saying that Superman is like our savior now, and people are worshiping him, praying to him, and whatever, and that potentially could be what causes Batman to come out of retirement and or wherever he was. But with Batman, there's a couple of things where I'm kind of like, man, only like you see the Batmobile, it looks exactly like the Tumbler. You see, like, he's got the voice thing, the voice modulator going on, just like with Christian Bale did. And I know, I guess, like, what did I expect, right? Those things were so epic in the previous trilogy that, you know, naturally they were going to copy those things. But I don't know, I just felt like, because, like, now it really connects. Like, it's almost like, well, it is the same universe. It is the same everything, even though DC was saying before, no, it's not. Like, Christopher Nolan's series is in its own self-contained thing. But I'm like, well, not really. I mean, at least that's not what you guys appear to be going with. But anyways, whatever. That's a whole other story. But I think maybe that's what causes Bruce to get all up in arms. Like, if it's sort of like, you know, he wants to prove potentially that this guy is not a god. He's not, like, he shouldn't be idolized or anything like that. He's just some guy. And potentially that's it. It might just be that is what causes him to basically want to prove that he isn't a god. Don't make a religion out of this one dude. And then after they have their little, you know, fight or whatever, there'll probably be like a greater evil will be introduced. And I guess they'll come together or something, because don't forget that Wonder Woman is in this movie as well. So, like, I really, my concern, I think, if I would have just seen the trailer, I would have been like, yeah, that's probably what's going on, what the story is that they're making Superman a god, and that Bruce is sort of like, well, he's not a god, he's just like an alien creature, let's go kill him. But the fact that I know that Wonder Woman is also in this makes me wonder, like, well, how in the hell are they gonna do all this? I don't know.
I did very enjoy though the Batman costume. I thought like Ben Affleck looked pretty kick-ass in that costume though. That's something I like.
I did too.
But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem. I don't know if Batman would really want to go after Superman if people started idolizing him. That seems pretty. Like, unless he thinks he did something bad, but I don't know. Just you think that he'd want to fight him just because he's being idolized?
Well, I don't. I mean, we have nothing to go by but the trailer, right? And in the trailer, like the whole 1 minute of the trailer is essentially showing that Superman is now like a god on Earth. And then the next scene, they say, I forget what the line is, but it says something about how leading good men to go like crazy, basically, as you see him looking at the suit. So I'm wondering if that's the angle. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not at all. But it's just by the trailer. That was my sort of like I don't know. It's what I was feeling that they were trying to go, was the fact that everyone thinks that he's some god or whatever, and maybe he is now getting that power, and Bruce is just afraid that no one should have that kind of power, like over the whole planet, being able to decide, our fate for us. It could be. I like I say, I have no idea. Maybe I'm full of crap.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know about this movie. I really like Man of Steel, like you. I know like well, that's not really funny because I'm not a hardcore Superman fan. I enjoy some of his comics. Never been a huge fan of his character, but I can enjoy some of his stories very much. But I know that most hardcore Superman fans absolutely hated Man of Steel, so it's gonna be funny. It's probably gonna be a very divisive movie, like Man of Steel was, but it's probably gonna be worth a watch. At least I'm just afraid that they're gonna introduce way too much characters in that one. And you want to talk about Avengers 2 a bit? Did you see the trailer?
I saw the last trailer I saw was there a new one released?
I don't know. I had never seen one single trailer of it, but I went to see Furious 7 last week, and there was a trailer of it, and I guess I could have closed my eyes, but I did see it, and it got me pretty excited, actually. I wasn't really expecting anything, but I enjoyed the first Avengers, so I knew that this one was going to be a movie I was going to go see. And it seems like it's pretty obvious, though, how this movie is going to end by now. It's going to end with them breaking up. It's pretty obvious. It's basically set in stone, but I'm pretty interested in going to see. The only thing I didn't like about the trailer was that there's a scene in which like Iron Man is in his Hulk Destroyer costume or whatever it is, and he seems to be fighting everybody else. Like I know that he's fighting Hulk in there, which can make sense. Hulk he's not really he's impulsive, but he seems to be fighting Captain America and Thor too at some point. I'm not sure if that's what's happening, but I really hope they have a good reason for that, because like I said, in comics it works, but in movies, like even in comics, I find it silly that everybody's always fighting each other just for the heck of it. But I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, keep in mind that the enemy is Ultron, right?
Yeah.
So, do we know that Tony is actually in the suit?
No, we do not, but it seemed pretty obvious at that point.
Okay.
But maybe not. You're right.
Because if he's fighting Hulk, it depends. Because Scarlet Witch, too, I believe that's part of it, too. She could have gotten into... I think I read that somewhere, actually. Someone was saying that, like, Scarlet Witch can, like, screw with people's heads or whatever, and that she gets into the Hulk's head and makes him rage like he's never raged before.
Okay.
So that I could sort of understand that. So like Tony's like, well, no, you're not gonna, go and kill innocent people or whatever. But what I'm wondering is maybe he goes too far. You know what I mean? Like he's like trying to put him down, sort of deal. And maybe that's where the other Avengers come into it and be like, hey, whoa, like calm down, like don't kill the guy, sort of deal. I don't know. I'm making all of this up, but hey, we'll find out next week.
Yeah, we will. That's true. It's coming out soon, eh?
Yeah, I think it's May 1st or 2nd or something like that.
Yeah, well, cool. And be sure to watch Daredevil, man. It's
I really want to.
Amazing. Like, what I really like about that series is the fight scenes. Like, I don't know about you, but I watched Furious 7. I don't know if you watched it. And it's a pretty cool movie. It's what I expected, and I wanted some action, whatever. The ending is pretty cool with the Paul Walker tribute. But the thing I hated about that movie are the damn fight scenes. I hate those damn new way they film fight scenes now with the camera like switching every like microseconds, and with the flashing lights, like it's hard to tell what's happening. But Daredevil, they have these amazing fight scenes. There's one fight scene that's like almost 3 minutes long, and it's all one take, and it's really, really realistic, because you see Daredevil taking out all these guys, but it's not like he punches them and they go down. Like they keep getting up, and they're all exhausted as hell. And he is too, but it's all one take, and it's a beautiful, beautiful scene, and I like how they film the fight scenes in that one. It's just like they let the actors do the story. They don't like switch camera scenes or go from camera angle to camera angle, flashlights and stuff. It's really annoying how these action movies, like even Transformers, like I don't know what the hell is going on during action scenes, but this one, that's what I really like about it.
Well, cool. Hopefully I will be able to check that out, but who knows with the way things have been going.
Well, all right. I'll let you wrap up, because you seem to have run out of things to say now.
Well, we did good, man. The podcast here is almost 51 minutes.
Amazing.
So, yeah. That's like it's like a Christmas miracle. Well, guys, I don't want to say we'll see you next week. Who knows when we will do another one of these? Hopefully, we can get back into the swing of things once Steven, figures out what he's got to do, and when I figure out what I got to do. Because I must admit, I do miss doing these things. They're fun, and I miss being involved. Also, like finding out what's going on in the community and stuff like that. So, anyways, don't forget. If you made it through all the way to the end here, awesome, thank you. But please leave a comment. Let us know about what you'd like us to do with the channel, because it's important. We don't want to flood you guys with content that you're not interested in. That doesn't make any sense. It's counterintuitive. So that's all I've got. So thank you very much for joining us, and all of you, take care.